hopefully only the starting soon screen over here is frozen, and we're still live. Hello, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to First Listen on KNOTFEST. My name is John Garcia, aka Stay Puft, here with my boy Keem, as always. What's up, Keem? How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. How you guys doing out there?
Fantastic. And then we're joined today by New York death metal legends. Please welcome Robert Vigna and Ross Dolan of Immolation. Gentlemen, welcome to First Listen. How are you doing today?
Hey, great.
Good.
Thanks to be here. Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming from a shady, unmarked van outside of the venue in Richmond right now. I know that you guys are going on stage here in a couple hours for the first show of your tour, so thank you for taking the time to be here with us today.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's how we roll. Shady
right.
unmarked vans across the country.
Before we get started, I just want to know, well, first off, congratulations on releasing another album. It's your 11th studio album. You guys are no strangers to releasing albums. You've been doing it for decades, but now this one has been quite a while in the works, 5 years since your last studio album. How does it feel to have this out there now?
Oh, it feels great. We've been listening to these songs, or a portion of these songs, since the end of 2018, because that's when we started writing. So, it's been a while. So yeah, it's just such a good feeling after not only the time we took to write the stuff, and we had to pause due to touring, and then we had to pause due to the pandemic and all that. So, it took a while, but a lot of work went into it, a lot of time went into it, and it's just a nice feeling to have it out there for the public to hear finally.
Yeah, it's been like an 8-month push. I mean, we recorded this in the beginning of August of last year. So from that point until now, it's been like go, 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 push, 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 and getting ready for the tour and the release and everything. Bob's been working on the videos that everybody's seen the past couple months. So it's nice that it's out today. We could like sit back and take a breath, and maybe just enjoy the tour now and just have fun,
Yeah, it sounds good. Dude, I'm ready to have some fun. Keem, I'm sure that you're ready. I know that y'all won't be able to hear the sounds and everything like that we're going to be hearing, but again, y'all know the songs for the most part, I assume, at this point. But with the show coming up, I figure you've got about a couple hours to figure it out.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah,
Just watch the facial expressions. The facial expressions, you'll be like, oh, that's that part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know exactly.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys will enjoy it, man. We hope you do. Like Bob said, it took some time to write, but we're happy with the end result. And, so far the feedback's been good. So I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. I haven't listened to it yet. This is going to be my actual first listen. I saved it for the stream. Keem, I think that you probably did the same thing. So let's go fucking nuts.
Awesome.
Let's listen to Acts of God, the new album from Immolation. Keem, I'm hovering over that play. Let's do 3, 2, 1, play on 3, 2, 1, play. All right. First song up is Abandon. Nice clean guitar parts right here.
Yeah, that's misleading right there.
Oh yeah. And y'all in the chat, if you have any questions for Ross or Bob, please feel free to let us know. We'll ask them as everything's going. Let us know how the levels are as far as if you want the music up, down, if you want me muted. Unfortunately, I can't mute myself, or I wouldn't. But, you can dream. My first question for y'all while we're waiting for this to start is, like, if people thought that Atonement was dark, like, what will they think of Acts of God?
Oh, Acts of God is just, it's next level for us. I mean, it's really the writing, the atmosphere, the feeling. It's much darker than Atonement. It's much darker than our last number of records, actually. It kind of harkens back to some of the earlier records as far as that vibe and feel, but I think the songs are just better written, better performed, more concise than some of our earlier works, and just powerful as hell. So, it's a much more aggressive and haunting album for sure in a lot of ways.
Hell yeah. Yeah, now we are we're into the title track.
Cool. One of my faves.
These are you guys' first tour back, right? Like, since the lockdowns. So first
Yeah.
time on stage and.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
first tour, we did play. We did Psycho Vegas in August of last year. We did Decibel Metal and Beer Fest. So those were kind of, just kind of teasers for us.
Right. Okay. Got any particular track that you guys are excited to play tonight? That just.
The one you're listening to now, like we
Okay.
open up with that one. Honestly, all the new songs we have in the set, we have about 7 in the set tonight. We're excited to play every one of them. We'd like to play the whole record if we could, but we know the fans wouldn't be down with that. So
You gotta get some tracks from Atonement. I mean, you gotta throw a mix in there.
Exactly. So we get it. We get it.
Dave Barrett has a question in the chat. I see someone else's chat, but it's not showing up on my sidebar, so let me translate that in my, it is so tiny, but before I get to that, Dave Barrett says, the new LP has maybe the best artwork of any Immolation album. Where did it come from? I know the answer to this, but go ahead and tell them, Ross and Rob.
Well, the album cover was painted by Ilan Cantor from Berlin. Phenomenal artist. He's been on our radar for quite some time now. He actually reached out to us back there around 2010. At that time, we were already working with Carr for those albums, for Majesty and Decay, and the subsequent albums after that. So we revisited that idea for this record just because the tone of this record was much darker. We wanted something completely different than what we had in the past. And we liked his style of kind of blending that classic, almost Renaissance-y, biblical kind of feel with some of the dark surrealism of artists like Wyszynski from Poland. So he had both of those flavors in his style, and we knew he was the guy. And man, he just knocked it out of the park with this one. We think it's definitely one of our darkest album covers. Very dark and very hopeless looking. Yeah. And it just really captured the field of music. And then we also had Santiago from Triple Six Designs do the inner pieces on the inside of the artwork, which made an appearance on the Apostle video. And again, very dark artwork, very cool, and really matched well with Aileron's work. So the full-on packaging is really interesting and cool. And I think looking at all this imagery and then reading the lyrics to go along with it, they match really well, and just the whole vibe just comes together really well. Aesthetically, it just everything worked perfectly with this one. So we're really happy about that. Yeah.
So with the artwork, was it like phases? Did you shoot him an idea, like just like a concept? Okay.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately we didn't give them a lot of time because we were just kind of under schedule. So luckily, Aileron and Santiago were able to pull it off. But we kind of got some ideas together and wrote everything out, and then would describe the ideas to them, and they just did their thing. And the first thing that we got from Aileron was the sketch of what you see today. It looked pretty much similar, only like in a fuzzy black and white look. But we knew right away it was like we were like. So
yeah, when you see the rough sketch and you're like, holy crap, that's amazing. You're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, all right, go for it. And so we really appreciate the fact that both those artists really went out of their way to get it done in such a short amount of time and do it in such a way where they just created such amazing stuff. So we're very, very fortunate for that.
I've had the pleasure of interviewing Aileron. He's just such a fantastic dude. And it sounds like other people I've talked to that have worked with him before, like that story that he said, he said this one sketch pretty much that's what it is. I hear that over and over and over again. Just what a great talent. And it's always he's got such a style that when you see it, it's there it is. Immolation got Aileron, all right.
Yeah. But it's cool because he has his style, but he's a unique artist in the sense that he does a lot of different types of style. He's got that style, but he can branch out to different things and make that work as well. You know what I mean? So, so that's very unique for an artist. To have a couple of different styles down pretty well.
He's just an amazing talent, an amazing artist to take the ideas that we gave him and to translate it the way he did and to create that. I mean, really, it was better than honestly what we were kind of envisioning. The whole tone of it. I mean, he just nailed it, man. So I can't give him enough praise for that.
Oh yeah. Lord Iscaria in the chat has a question for you, Ross. He wants to know how much shampoo do you go through in a month?
More than me.
More than Bob, that's for sure. You know, I need an endorsement. You know,
Yeah. I need a suave endorsement.
any takers out there? You know, my hair's keeping me in the poorhouse.
We are currently on The Age of No Light, which I believe was the second single for this album.
Yes.
Yes.
I have heard the single, so I like held off on all of the albums, but obviously like when it came out, I was like, I'm a sound to hear what this sounds like. Nina's vibing over there.
Yeah, solos. Oh,
Yeah, we like. It's definitely one of our favorites as well. I mean, we like them all, but we're looking forward to playing that one tonight too.
Got a question.
Yeah.
Question from Steve. Well, if they're at Richmond, they should be at the show. They should be enjoying it.
Yeah, that's right. But then, you know, they're at the show, but they probably get their phone with their headbutt in.
Right. A question from Steve. I know you guys have been around for a minute. Are you family guys too? If so, what do the kids think, and how do you balance the life?
Yeah, I mean, luckily the families have been super supportive of what we do. You know, Alex is the only member who has a child. He just had a baby daughter back in it was in May.
Yep.
And yeah, she's adorable, and you know, I know he's hating the fact that he has to leave her, you know, because she's about 9 months old now, but yeah, she's adorable, and you know, it's cool to have a little Immo, you know, prodigy, I know now.
Right.
Yeah, but the families have always been supportive. You know, my girlfriend, Steve's girlfriend, Alex's wife, our families, you know, have always been super behind what we do. They've always believed in us. They see the amount of time and effort and energy we put into this, and so that's important, man. That you know, it was important for us to have that, especially in the earlier years. You know, it's not an easy lifestyle, and it's obviously not an easy thing to do. So you know, it was nice to have that, really.
Oh, absolutely. Got to have that foundation to keep you going.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Alex, actually, if I'm not mistaken, this is his first actual like studio recording with you guys. I know he's been in the band for a little bit, but like, what does he bring to Immolation? What do you think that he brought in this record that maybe wasn't there before he joined the band?
Well, I've been playing guitars on the records, just about every record at this point, so it brought in a different feel. You know, we have similar styles, which is great. Both the way we play, the type of music, you know, we do with death metal, and you know, the solos too. You know, like we both approach music similarly in the sense that we are both on that page that when it comes to say solos, it's like you do it serves the song. You know, it's not about, all right, we're gonna rip this up and do 80 million notes, and it's not about that. You know, sometimes yes, but then sometimes, you know, you can hang a note for a while or go through a very slow progression, and that's what fits the song best. So that's all I ever cared about as a guitar, is to make stuff rhythmically and with the solos that just all fit together to you know, get that point across, to get that certain atmosphere across. And Alex comes from the same angle. And yeah, it was just great to have him on here. And once we were done with the recording, I went down. He was in Delaware at the time. Yeah, we do the solo work after. You know, we don't do it in studio; it's unnecessary. So it's cool. Me and him just kind of did our thing, and it was awesome, you know. And he brought like a lot of you know, just cool.
Connectivity issues right now.
A little bit.
Still moving on my screen. I know they're frozen yours.
Yeah, they're frozen on mine. It's probably the unmarked vehicle.
Unmarked van does not
And oh.
Immolation stepped out for a second.
I gotta reconnect.
When this happens, step out and stepping right back in works.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was gonna tell them, Keith, I'm enjoying the fuck out of this song right here. Has such like a dark, nasty vibe to it.
So far, this album is amazing. My favorite so far is Age of No Limit. That one was.
It's a nice variety so far.
Oh yeah. Alex said Philly anytime soon. The date. The closest to Philly they'll be is 3/19 in New York.
They get some
Or-
last day of their tour also.
Yeah, or the 18th in Massachusetts.
Everybody, we are waiting for Ross and Bob to come back in. Have a little bit of connectivity issues since they're hanging out in their van outside of this show that they're going to be
Right.
playing tonight. Live internet, Keen, what can you do? Here they go. They're coming back.
Okay. Hey.
Here we go.
Hey, here. I see them.
Hey. You're back.
We are. Welcome. We were just enjoying...
Welcome
Good.
back.
we
Welcome
were
back.
just enjoying Noose of Thorns while you guys were gone. You guys hear us?
Lagging a little bit again. You guys good? Nope.
Uh,
Connectivity issues again.
Oh, they're back out.
Yep.
Appreciate you, Mazza. Yeah, so, team, we're good. It is Blame Richmond, Virginia right now, everybody.
Okay, you guys. Okay. Is this already?
Lord Iscariot saying that this might be one of the best death metal releases of the year from the bit that you've heard already. Amazing.
Oh. Sounding like robots.
Sound like robots to you?
Yeah. Oh, are they coming in clear for you?
I don't hear them at all.
Oh. Yeah, their video is like yeah. Oh, now they're gone. Steve, I'll ask the question as soon as they come back.
Always something.
Oh, wait.
Just gonna awkwardly like sip on my water right now.
Oh. We're back.
What's
Here
up,
we go.
guys? Can you hear us?
Hey.
All right, yeah.
You said we're very low? Here.
Welcome back.
Uh-oh. You guys are still skipping just like a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You ever?
Oh, you guys are frozen again.
Oh man, all right,
We
all right.
had you for a little bit.
Like, Keen, I'm wondering if I refresh my feed over here, but I'm worried if I do that, I'm gonna break the entire thing.
Right.
If we don't get them back in like the next couple of minutes, I will try that and see if maybe that'll work. I'm hardwired in. My internet and my connection is all right over here.
I don't know if they're on like Wi-Fi or like data. It's probably data.
I would imagine
But-
it's data. I'm gonna refresh just real quick, everybody.
Yeah.
If the stream breaks, it's my fault. So give me just 1 second. Page. All right. Cross your fingers, everybody. So we didn't break the stream. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
All right. So that worked. So I've been too distracted, but like now I'm pulled back in. This song fucking slaps.
Oh yeah.
Immolation are too metal for their own strength.
Oh, there you go. Dropped again.
Alex Flamer, Imperial Triumphant are, they're at least at the venue with them. They are on this tour cycle with them. So if you're around for any of those dates, check them out.
We're back. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Cool.
Are we back? I see you guys. You guys look crystal clear over here.
Yeah,
You hear us?
we can see you
All right,
guys.
we did it. We weathered.
Yes.
Gotta wait for the fire engine to go by.
I can hear it. We have made it.
All
to,
right. So what are you guys up to now? Shed the light?
Overtures of the Wicked.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's another good one. Yeah, I like that one.
That one's intense.
Yeah, we were just talking about Shed the Light. Oh shit, I might have we might have skipped a song actually. I have to fire.
Well,
the
let me
person who
see.
made
You
the
want
fight
Noose?
sneak.
And then I think Shed the Lights after that. And
Yeah.
then I think Blooded, and then Overture. So I don't know. But we were out of out of the loop for a little bit. So.
Yeah, exactly. So while you guys are back, we do have a couple of questions that were piling up while you guys were gone. Steve Samuelson wants to know what you guys think about all the great press coverage you guys have received for this album. He says way overdue, but your thoughts?
Yeah, it's been kind of overwhelming actually. Not very unexpected. But it's been amazing. I mean, the response has been like so positive. Like it's like we can't even believe it. It's just like so. It's good, man. I mean, Nuclear Blast. Fortunately for us, we found a label that really believes in this band, and they're fans, and they really put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into
they did an
promoting this
amazing
band.
job.
Yeah.
We definitely want to thank them right now on this day of the album release for all
Yeah.
the everything they've done leading up to this has been like just amazing. We know everyone put a lot of hard work into it, and everyone's just done a super job, and we're just really grateful for all the work that they did.
Yeah, really.
So that leads me to a question that I have. I mean, you guys have been doing this, especially like you two in this band for so long. But yet, like over the past couple of album cycles, I've seen like almost feels like maybe more of a resurgence in like interest in like I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but like how do you just take what you guys do and have that longevity and that consistency to where you guys are still putting out like ridiculously well received and ridiculously heavy and good shit?
We enjoy it. We love what we do. I mean, I think it's obvious to our fans. It's honest and it's true. We, this is something we're super passionate about. I mean, we've dedicated like 35 years of our life to this, more or less. And you don't do that unless you really believe in something. It wasn't certainly wasn't a lucrative career for us for the first 25 to almost 30 years, but we're at a point now where at least we're getting some recognition, which is cool. Not that we've not that that's why you do it, but it's always nice to kind of get that positive feedback across the board. And we were very fortunate with Atonement. Atonement got received really well, and that was almost like the prelude to this. That's when we felt like, wow, things feel like they're changing. It seems like, wow, it's like, we kind of joke around within the band, and we're like, wow, we're getting so much positive coverage and all this and whatnot, and we're like, wow, it's like, when did we cross over and become like that cool band that everybody cares to listen to now? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because let's face it, we were always we did what we wanted to do. We always we didn't follow trends or anything like that. I don't think anybody who gets into this music does that.
Right.
But I mean, we were always, about writing what we felt and what we liked. And, obviously we always gravitated towards the darker sounds and the darker topics, but, our fan base has always been just super supportive of us. I mean, the Immolation fans are diehard, to the core. And, it becomes more apparent to us as the years progress, especially during the pandemic. I got to say, man, our fans were like super supportive during the pandemic. And man, we needed that, we needed to have that positive reinforcement during such a dark time, and, we can't thank them enough. So, hopefully this album will make up for some of the downtime over the last 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I mean, you look around, whether it's like newer death metal bands or even, guys that have been doing this for a while, whether it's, your neighbors in Suffocation. Cannibal Corpse released a ridiculously good album last year. I mean, still just doing the thing and still doing it as good, if not better, than anybody else that's been there. And like for me, like speaking from my personal perspective, I first heard of you guys, I think, on a like Metal for the Masses compilation CD when I was in like middle school. So probably like 2002, 2003 was a song from Close to a World Below. I don't remember which song, but it's like that's lost to time. But so like ever since then, I was just like, oh, like the Immolation is just part of the furniture in the metal scene or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like I wish that those compilation CDs were more of a thing nowadays because I learned about so many bands from them. But like I think that's just like time and experience for y'all as far as like doing that. So like kids like me see, oh, there's this band that's been going for 15 years, and now 15 years later, you guys have been going for 30, 35. And I think that speaks to just exactly what you said: honesty, passion, all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, we've always been realistic. I mean, we've always held down, full-time jobs up until more recently, like the last couple of years only. But, we've always kind of, worked hard and tried to kind of balance that, those two worlds, the responsible, world of reality and, the passion and the dream that we have in doing the music, and following that course. So, it wasn't... it was a difficult balancing act, and Bob and I will have talks now, and we think back like even like 5-10 years ago, like, wow, how do we juggle this with our full-time jobs and our personal lives and everything? It was very difficult, but and now I can't imagine doing it as full force as we're doing it now back then, because it wouldn't have been possible. So the fact that we are able to put more time into it now and really put all our efforts into this, so it's 110% as opposed to like, whatever, 70%, you know what I'm saying? So it's easier for us now, but yeah, I mean, it's always been a challenge for sure.
We are on Immoral Stain right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a very twisted song. I like that one.
Steve's drumming just already, we're like halfway through, but Steve's drumming on this. I know this is not a surprise, but he's holy shit.
Yeah,
there's a very cool part that happens twice in the song. It's kind of like a gradual progression. It's just a cool beat, and the way everything comes together, it's very different. Like that's like definitely one of the highlight rhythm parts on the record for sure.
Yeah, this is Steve, like, shines tremendously on this record, man. Probably, in my opinion, it's like some of his finest work, man. I mean, he had the time. There were no pressures on him because, of the shutdown. So he was just able to kind of just work his magic with each one of these songs and really infuse, we call it the Shalati swing because he's got a very unique style, and he really creates his own song with the drum beats within the song, his cymbal work, the patterns with the cymbals,
he's always trying to create something against what's going on and make it better and add more stuff in there to kind of like, not overplay it, but to try and just make it more interesting. And he does that with all the parts, and he's passionate about it. He doesn't just settle for anything. He's like, I could do something better here. I'd like to try something over here, so he spends a lot of time doing it, and and he's got that background. I mean, when he was younger, I know he was like, learning jazz stuff, and so that's his background, but he's also into much more brutal and crazy stuff than we are. So it's like he's got that combination coming from two different sides of the spectrum, you know, and then he mixes that up very well, you know. But he just he's very passionate about what he does, and he takes the time and care to, you know, make it the best it can be and make it as interesting as possible.
Yeah, and exactly what you were saying, Bob. Inspiration Possession was the one that came out this year, and literally as you were talking about that, there was that like interesting beats that he had going on to start that, those shuffles. He was like, you said civil work was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a good part, because it was quite, you know, it was basic at the beginning, and then as it goes, he adds these little like chinas and stuff as it goes, and that just adds so much flavor to it that opens it up and just makes it just cool. It's like a lot of ear candy just like going on, but it keeps the rhythm and it keeps it forward, but it's got that little extra stuff to kind of move it along even better.
That's a unique song. That song that you're listening to, Incineration Procession. It was I don't know, when Bob first sent the demo over, I liked it immediately. Wow, that's a really cool song. It's very different. It's heavy. It's got a really kind of disturbing vibe in the beginning. There's something about it that I just really struck me when I heard it. So, but now that it's finished, and you know, we could hear it with the vocals and the different guitar layers and the solos, you know, and all the cool stuff that Steve's doing, because when we first hear these demos, it's just Bob playing guitar, and he programs some drum beats just to give us a feel of the direction of the song and the dynamic. But other than that, it's pretty stripped down. So, you know, when you hear the song finished, you know, everything makes sense. Even the long, heavy section in the middle where it slows down, and you have the solo and then the vocals. Like, you know, that on its own was cool, but now with all the layers, it's so much more interesting and has multiple dimensions to it. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was watching a couple of the videos Nuclear Blast put in about interviews about the songs, like y'all in the studio or anything like that. And one of the words you guys kept bringing up, and you said it just now, Ross, is vibe, right? Like there's a vibe, there's a vibe, there's a vibe. And 100%, like when these songs start, they're used, and Steve and I were talking about this while you guys were like reconnecting and everything like that. But that's so true. There's just, like, for lack of a better term, a vibe around some of these songs. And it's like, it's hard to describe, but like when you say that, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, and I guess that's the best way to articulate it. It is a vibe, and you know, when you hear it, you get it. You know, and I think all these songs like have their own kind of vibe. You know, and it's cool, and you know, I think that's what sets you know, some of it apart, you know, from maybe some of our earlier stuff or whatever, you know.
Yeah, Keem and I just had the same face as the song ended. You're both just like,
yeah. Definitely, this album definitely has that like end of the world vibe, like the
without a doubt,
like
without
it's
a doubt.
Doomsday.
It's a bleak song, it is. Sure,
yeah.
Speaking of that, actually, Steve has a question in the chat that goes along with that. It says, lucky enough to meet you guys at L4 Zone in Seattle, and it was, you know, great to spend time with you guys. It said, how do nice guys like yourselves channel the negative?
Right here, through the music. I mean, that's how we channel. You know, unfortunately, there's a lot of negativity in our world, and there always has been. You know, so you know, I guess you absorb so much of that, and this is a great way. This is a great outlet for it. You know what I'm saying? And we really get a lot of that toxicity out of ourselves. You know, and you know, through the whole process of creating these songs and writing the lyrics, and you know, trying to create something unique out of nothing, and something that has purpose and meaning and feeling, you know. So it is a great release for us, believe me.
Yeah, definitely a lot more productive than some things that I bet.
Absolutely, you know, and I think it's the same for the fans. You know, when you go to see a band that you're a fan of live, and you're there in the crowd and you're feeling that just explosion come off the stage, that feeling, and it just hits you. But it's in real time, and they're right there in front of you, man. That's like no other feeling in the world, man. I remember, you know, some of those early shows, underground shows from back in my teens, you know, back in the 80s. And man, there's nothing like that feeling. But that's an outlet. It's a way to kind of get that negative energy out for the fans as well. You know, it's an outlet for them to release that energy. But it's a positive way to do it. You know what I'm saying? What better way to channel all the daily frustrations of life than through music, at a show, when you could do it safely and in the company of your brothers and sisters, because we all are part of this metal community. It transcends everything. You know what I'm saying? Politics, religion, all that bullshit. This is, it's
more
the metal.
of a unifying thing.
It's a unifying force for sure, and that's the beauty of music when it's done right.
Yeah, 100%. I hope you guys get to see that firsthand, getting out to the shows and doing this tour and everything like that. Because, kind of like you mentioned before we went live, because everybody's been stuck in their houses for the last 2 years and want to just get out and do the thing. So I hope you guys get to experience that firsthand over the next couple of weeks and months.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. We're starved for that.
Yeah, we are too. The music fans are starved too. We are on. We just finished Broken Prey. And,
that's Steve's
favorite.
favorite.
Spirit is starting right now.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. One of the slower, groovier ones on the record.
Yeah, so far, I know the runtime is a little bit longer than some of your albums that you guys. I mean, most of the time, I feel like an Immolation album is 45 minutes, boom, done. This one's a little bit longer, but I don't know about you, Keem. It hasn't felt it's like that, gone in the blink of an eye. I know we've been talking and stuff like that, but even the music is able to go in and out.
Yeah, you guys are past the halfway point already. We've read a lot of comments about the length of the record, and it's quite frankly, it's baffling to me. It's maybe 5 to 7 minutes longer than anything we've ever done in our career. I've never heard. But yet people get stuck on that like it's some sort of bad omen to wear around your neck. Wow, it's a long album. It's like, Jesus Christ, it's been a fucking 2-year lockdown, 5 years. I would expect people to be happy that it's a longer record.
When I picked up
Ross,
records back in the day, I didn't care if they were 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Not once did that play a part in how I like the record and how long it is. I mean, I've never heard of it. It's kind of hysterical, actually.
Yeah, it is.
But whatever,
But, so it's cool that you mentioned that, because the album moves fast and it doesn't feel like a 50-minute album. It feels like
quick. But I mean, so
anyway, sorry we got distracted. The fan was just giving us the horns outside. So.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But in the end,
this album's going quick.
The songs, the length of it is just, yes, we had the extra time, but as we're writing, we felt the album itself as a whole needed certain type of songs to complete it as a whole. You know what I mean? So that's what it needed, and that's what the length turned out to be. But to us, it's more about the flow and having the songs that make it a balance. Just like any single song, the album itself should have a nice balance of certain parts and feels to kind of make it all make sense.
You talk a lot about that on this show, actually. Like me, personally, I'm an albums person, right? I like listening to my albums in full from start to finish. How long did you work with the sequencing of this album to get it into a place that you guys wanted?
Roasted in about 5 minutes, I think.
Really?
Well, it's always the most challenging part. I'm glad, that's another great question that you brought up. A great point, rather. It's always a very challenging part because that balance is crucial to how an album flows, and you have to get it right. Otherwise, you don't want any lulls early in the record, but you also don't want to, shoot off all the heavy guns and leave all the slower stuff or whatever towards the end. So you need a good balance.
I mean, typically, Records 101, they'll tell you, when you're talking about the big acts and stuff, you always want to put your best stuff up front and all that, so keep people interested. But, at the same time, we feel all the songs are great, so it's just a matter of, all of it's our best, we feel. It's just a matter of putting it in the right order that makes it balanced from the slow, heavier stuff to the fast stuff, and just make it all make sense, So I think it flows great, and it's very powerful all the way through, and it keeps you going.
I see you guys jamming to something, man, so that's cool.
Your Electric Spirit got it. It's a groove.
Yeah, there's a
yeah.
Like that right there. I was just like, all right, sorry, I'm listening, but I'm also jamming.
Nice. Awesome, man. I'm glad you guys are liking it so much. It's great.
Yeah, and you guys are getting a lot of love in the chat as well. Yeah. There's someone who is saying that this is the best death metal album they've heard this year. Bloodstop Blockstein says this sounds fucking awesome. Lots of love in the chat for you guys.
Awesome, man.
Nice
Thank you, everybody, man. We're glad everybody's enjoying it so far.
We got Mauricio from Ecuador. That's crazy
Nice.
how music just, once it's out there, it's all over the world.
Yeah,
Great.
it is.
Ecuador in the house.
Right.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Do you guys have any good stories about Ecuador?
We were actually there for the first time in 2019. Right? It's 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was our first time playing down there, and it was awesome, man. It was
Yeah.
great. Packed show. The fans were super enthusiastic and, just friendly as heck, man. They were awesome, man. So, yeah, I mean, we had a great time down there. We only did the one show in Quito, and it was friggin' awesome. So I hope to return again, with this record for sure.
Yeah, I've always heard that South American fans are just like out like next level.
They're
as
die-hard
far as
fans, yeah.
passion.
Oh,
Oh,
no, the fans, yeah,
Dude,
they're into
everywhere.
it down there heavily. Yep.
Everywhere
Mhm.
down there, man. From Ecuador to Chile to Brazil. I mean, just everywhere you go down there is just sick for metal, man. It is awesome, man. Argentina, we went there for the first time. I mean, that was killer. All these places, that we unfortunately haven't been to too many times before,
Right.
are all just killer, man. So there was a lot of firsts on the Atonement record as far as new places to visit and play, which is awesome. We're all about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We are on When Halos Burn now.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Nice.
one too.
I'm
It's
still
fun
stunned on
watching
how
your
people
reactions.
was-
Yeah.
People was mad that it was 52 minutes. Like what? Like
Yeah, 52 minutes is not even that long of an
right?
album.
It's like
Well,
yeah.
no, that's my point. And people come across like it's like a 3-hour record, It's
It would be the last thing I'd even think, imagining
Right.
that anyone even be concerned with that.
Right.
that's what's so funny.
it's just so
Attention spans have shortened over
Right.
the last 2 years, everybody.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. That's
probably what it is.
honestly, this is probably the most, I guess, what's the best way to, concise album as far as the way the songs are written and, laid out. It's
Yeah.
really straight to the point, man. It doesn't, no fat to trim on this one.
No, you guys have one song that's above 5 minutes, and everything else is in like the 3 or 4 minute range.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that works it with it exactly concise because you just go, you don't have time to get comfortable or anything like that, right? It's just song starts,
Yep.
blasts your head open for 3 or 4
Yep.
minutes, and then it's on to the next one.
Yeah. Now coming up, the next song is another that's another killer one that I really like, and the next song is called "Let the Darkness In," and we had a special guest appearance by our good friend and brother Danny Loker, of Nuclear Assault, SOD fame, Brutal Truth. So he was gracious enough to assist in one of the more black metal sounding screams at the end of that song, and we do a scream together at the end. And it's just sick. It's just really cool, and it was cool to have him as part of that. He's just such a dear friend to us, and just we've known him forever. We've been on the road with him, with Brutal Truth, and just all around awesome dude, man. Just truly a legend. He's a legend, that dude.
Oh yeah, well that song literally just started right now,
Yeah.
so
Nice.
we will
Cool.
be waiting with bated breath. Block Steve, yes, this album is out today. I don't know if Mazza in the chat has got links for you for that one, but go pick it up, my friend. It's available now.
Nice.
So Steve, you've mentioned you guys had a lot of time and were able to really focus in the studio and stuff like that. I'm curious as far as obviously there was a whole pandemic going on, right, which affected the writing process and stuff like that. But I'm curious as far as just the general creative process with this album on how it might have been different or the same despite regardless of everything else going on.
Yeah, I mean, it was relatively the same. I just think that we had a little more time, especially like we talked about earlier, Steve being able to have more relaxed time to get to know the songs. So the fact that we had 4 songs done by early 2019, Steve was already familiar with them and able to practice on his own with those. And then we did a lot of touring in 2019, so I kind of took a break from writing. And then we planned 2020 to be the year of writing and recording. Obviously, that went a little further due to everything that happened. But so we were very lucky. We feel very fortunate that we had, all our touring was done by the end of 2019, and then we got into it. But it's the same type of thing we've done before. I just write I write my stuff on the computer. I get the songs together. I send them out to the guys. We might tweak a thing or two, and then everyone just rehearses on their own, and we listen to that stuff, until we get into the studio. So people just get, the guys in the band get familiar with the music, and that's how we operate. We've been operating like that since Majesty and Decay, because we've always kind of been scattered about, you know what I mean? So we've gotten used to doing that. We got so used to doing that this was the first record since Majesty and Decay that we actually rehearsed the songs as a band before we went into the studio. We used to just get the songs down separately, meet in the studio, and just record, and then we would never play any new songs as a band together. We'd play them for the first time on that tour for the record. So so this is much better in the sense that we pulled it off because we felt it was just, and at the time we had very busy schedules with work and stuff, so it was basically the way we needed to do it. But now to be able to get together and kind of flesh out the songs and just play them together and get the feel, work out the kinks, and just feel them together as a group in the same room, and what's working and what's not working was definitely very helpful, this time around, and obviously we will do that in the future. So that was probably one of the main differences in the way that we've done things this time since 2010. So and it was great, and I think that definitely helped in making things better and more creative as well.
Yeah, I love that. Just even this far in your guys' career, you're still like looking at ways to do that, looking at ways to make things better, and make the process easier, and all that stuff. We talked to a lot of bands that either changed a lot of the things that they did because of the way that they had to work, or like, no, all of us are spread hither and yon, so literally our process didn't change or anything like that. So very interesting to get that perspective.
Yeah, so for to answer your question, like, because of the pandemic, not much really changed. I guess the thing that was good for us was for the better, because there was that extra time where we didn't really know when we could even get together to rehearse because of all the restrictions, and not knowing when we could get into the studio. So it was almost like, all right, we're just going to keep going until we feel the record's done. And luckily, by the time we felt the record was done is when everything started opening up about the middle of last year. And right after that, we got together, we did about 3 rehearsals, and then got into the studio in August. So, from June to like August, we had all the songs done and just kind of, went through them as a group, and then we went right into the studio. So it was good. But luckily, for us, we were used to working that way, from a distance. So it was very comfortable,
Nice,
which was
nice.
good.
We are on, and the flames wept. Just like, again, we got one more song after this. Can you believe that the hours flowed by that quick?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. It moves so fast, this album. You don't even acknowledge that it's 52 minutes.
You'd think it's 50 minutes.
That'll still be 5 minutes too long. If it was 50, that'll still be 5 minutes.
It's so funny. It's just so hysterical. It's so adorable.
Let's see, you got some love from the Dominican Republic, lots and respect and love for the band, as well as T-Landy72 saying that they're going to be seeing you at NYC at the end or middle of March, I suppose.
That's going to be a good show. That's going to be the last show of this tour, and that particular show is going to be very special because it's going to be all New York bands.
Yeah.
It's going to be ourselves, Demolition Hammer, thrash band that's been around for years and good friends of ours. Mortician, of course, needs no introduction, and these 3 bands, we've all originated in Yonkers, New York. So
3 Yonkers bands.
3 Yonkers bands.
Wow.
Black Anvil, some black metal from Brooklyn, as well as Funeral Leech from Brooklyn, and they're more like slow and dirgy and heavy and dark.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's just it's going to be a very special show.
Yeah.
And we're really looking forward to it. And it's a cool New York show. I mean, and it had a great New York venue, so we're just psyched for that one.
Yeah, Irving Plaza is like one of those classic New York venues that, we were going to back in the day, to see shows, and I've seen a lot of shows there throughout the years. So for us to do a show there on our own is like, huge, but to have the lineup that we have, with all our friends, the people we came up with, I mean, Will from Mortician and I kind of discovered this music together and kind of came up when we were like 13 and 14, like getting into like heavier music, discovering heavy music, and then I met these guys around like 86 when Bob was in Rigor Mortis, And then, that was it, man. When they asked me to join Rigor Mortis in like '88, and then we changed the name, that's how Immolation started. So we all have like really deep roots, in the New York scene, and all of us together, the Demolition Hammer guys, like, we know them back from the '80s as well. Steve's a local guy. And we toured with Black Anvil on the Mayhem tour in 2017, and I love the As Was album, man. That was like one of my favorite albums of that year, man. And it was just so cool. They were such awesome dudes,
really good people.
And the Funeral Leech guys, fucking awesome band. They just put out their first record last year, and our good friend Travis, who was in Black Anvil, but he produced that record and did a great job. It sounds amazing. So yeah, I mean, it's a great show with like old friends and new friends, and it's just a good vibe. All New York bands, But just for us, it's cool to share the stage with bands like Demolition Hammer and Mortician, who don't do a ton of stuff these days, So it's for us, it's
unique. It's definitely unique that we're all able to play together like that.
So we're, needless to say, we are super excited for that.
And that's the last of the official tour, right? I know you guys are doing the Decibel Fest after that, but that is the last show of your official tour, correct?
That's the last show, yeah. And then, we do
we're doing Netherlands Death Fest, in Holland, as well as Dreamer Fest in France.
Yeah, and then we'll have more announcements in the next month or so, because we do have a lot planned in the U.S. for this year. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Teasing everybody, don't go away.
That's right.
We are, let's see how far in. We have 1 minute left on this album, y'all.
Nice.
Oh, you guys are well into Apostle. This is the slow groovy part at the end. I love it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's been stuck in my head since I first heard it.
Awesome, man. Nice.
Interesting move, dropping the very last song of the album. I think it's the first single.
Yes. Yeah. It was just, we just felt that was a song that really represented the feel of the album. It had all the elements of the album kind of interwoven into it, and it was a good song throughout there first. We've had some people say, "Oh, why'd you put out the last song first?" But I don't see that matters at all. There's 12 other killer songs on there.
I honestly, as a music fan, Ross, I honestly think that's like a ballsy move, because it's saying, look, we have songs still at the end of our album that we are presenting to you, as opposed to like, here's the first 2 or 3 songs or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It was just a good song. We liked it.
We didn't think about it in those terms. We're just like, okay, this would be a cool song to put out, and then we put this one out and that one out to us. That felt good.
Yeah.
We weren't concerned where it was on the record.
Yeah, we didn't know
those are the songs that we felt worked best for the the public to get a taste of the record. So
sure.
Hell yeah. Well, I just my YouTube player went to Transcending Obscurity's record label thing, so, but we're done. That's it. We made it through.
Nice. Not so bad. Pretty painless, right?
I mean, not
I don't know,
for
7
my
minutes
neck
over.
here,
I don't know. I think after the 45-minute mark, it just started to hurt because I was like, this is a little too long for my taste.
It's like, and we apologize.
No,
that's awesome, man.
It's gonna be funny because now you're gonna think about that. Like the next time you like write a record, you'll be like, let's not make it too long, guys. Let's
like,
shorten it
next
up.
Time, we'll pull a Rain of Blood and we'll do like a 29-minute album. But then
they'll complain about that.
Like, you gypped us,
Immolation double album, triple album even, coming up next, just for the people that are mad about 52 minutes.
That's right.
So Ross, Bob, we are at the end of the show. Ridiculous album has been getting a lot of love in the chat. Our moderator Maz has said, y'all are wholesome and a wicked album to boot. It's maybe its 10th listen of the album already, and that he should give his neck time to recover.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you guys so much for all the love, man. We really appreciate it. We thank everybody who chimed in, all the fans out there around the world, man. It really means a lot to us, man. And we can't wait to kind of get out there beyond the U.S. We're looking at probably 2023 realistically before we kind of explore the rest of the planet. So, stay tuned, and be patient. We'll be there.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been sitting and waiting for 2 years just for the world to be doing it. I could wait another year. Ross, Bob, before you go, what do you want fans, whether they're old school Immolation fans, new fans you're picking up on this very record, what do you want them to take away from this record?
Well, we just hope they enjoy it. We hope
Yeah.
it's a good, musical journey for them. I mean, there's a lot of really unique, like sonic landscapes throughout this whole record. It's a good way to kind of lose yourself, and that's what great music does for me. You put on those headphones and you could just escape to just the daily grind and all the bullshit and all the pressures of society and life in general. So music is a great escape, man. It helps us through a lot of bad times in our lives, and it's very empowering in a lot of ways, and I just hope people get the most they can out of it and enjoy it, man. It's
Yeah,
enjoy
that's
it.
all we want. We make it
Right.
so. I mean, we enjoy it, but we want people to enjoy it. That enjoy this kind of music. So we hope that they do, and we appreciate all the great words we've been getting so far.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you guys for having us. And
Yeah, man.
we
Thank
just
you guys
look
so
forward
much.
to getting
Yeah,
out
thank
there
you
and
guys
playing
for
for
sharing
everyone.
your
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
Thanks you guys for coming on.
Keem, do you have
Absolutely,
anything
man.
else?
This was awesome, man. This was really fun. Thanks.
Yeah, Keem, you got
Hey,
anything else?
you guys. I know you guys going on stage, and I don't know if there's any butterflies. Shake them things off,
Yeah.
and they have a good
We're
show.
excited. We're just excited because
Yeah.
this will be
Right?
the first time we're playing these new songs live. So
Yeah.
except for we did Blood It a couple of times at the fest last year, but
Yeah.
but now people know the songs. It's like
Yeah,
we're playing
people-
a lot of them tonight, and we're kind of just amped. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
excited, especially after all. It's kind of unique to have the first show of your tour and your new album after 5 years released on the same day.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like we're just so much going on, and now we're just once we hit that stage, we're just going to be going for it and just excited and having
Yeah.
a good time.
I'm
really.
ready, man. Full force tonight.
We will wave at the crater left behind that is at Richmond in the morning. Just blowing off the map. But yeah, so that is going to do it for us. Guys, go pick up the new Immolation album. Mazza has the link for you right there. Spin it, break your neck to it, and go see them on tour. They are starting right now in Richmond, Virginia, and going to go all the way through March 19th in New York City, as they laid out earlier. So Ross, Bob, Keem, thank you guys for hanging out today, and I hope the show is amazing. I hope this tour is safe, and I hope
Thank
you
you.
guys have the best time.
Thank you guys
much,
so
guys.
much,
Sure.
man. Be well.
Take
All
care.
right, take it easy,
You as
everybody.
well.
I'll be on my